Welcome to Realtor Talk with Steph and Kel.
Hey guys,
Hi, I'm Stefanie Campbell.
and I'm Kelly Dugan.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious on the ins and outs of the real estate world, you've come to the right place.
What are we going to talk about on this podcast?
Everything, duh.
You name it, we cover it.
Tune in weekly as we bring you insightful conversations with industry experts, success stories, horror stories, and definitely some laughs along the way.
What's up? It's
Hello,
episode
everyone.
20.
Oh my God, happy 20th.
Happy 20th.
Happy 20th, Steph. It's been a ride.
It's been rainbows and sunshines and butterflies. Okay.
What's been new?
Since the last 5 minutes.
Since last week, duh.
Since last week, we try to record 2 back to back.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
why I'm joking, and that's why I always have the same outfit on.
Yeah, that's why we
Which
look the
I
same.
know I look so cute today.
Yeah, me and Stephanie just actually came
It
to a
is-
common agreement. We're done getting ready for
We're
podcasts.
done. We were actually thinking maybe we're gonna start recording at my house on Mondays and just go like completely raw.
I'm really curious. I'm really curious to know who actually watches the podcast. Truly, I think the only reason the video is handy for us is for social media purposes.
That's I always forget that like I think in my head there might only be a small portion of people that are watching the video on podcast, and then I remember social media.
Yeah.
And so then this outfit has to live forever.
It has to live
This is an
forever.
elevated property management t-shirt because it was what I pulled out of my laundry basket this morning.
Yeah, today I look like
I'm back in the swing of it from vacation. I forgot to bring my child to camp today, and it really that I was so upset when I
know.
realized I did that. I literally was at a meeting, and I was like, my face when I like could have cried.
I know. I was on the phone
There
with
is
Stephanie.
nothing more sad as a working mother than feeling like you did something where you dropped the ball in parent life.
Yeah, but they didn't know they missed camp, did they?
No, I'm just saying that I don't know. And I talked to other moms about this. Like, it is a total mom thing. My husband is Niall. I know maybe there's a 15% chance you'll listen to this podcast, but I just want to say he is a pretty freaking awesome husband.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Helps out a ton. Just as like we're like total teammates.
as it should be.
He probably thinks I lack a lot on the team side.
It's so funny thinking back to the conversations Niall and I would have before I knew you.
Oh my God.
When I would cut his hair, like I used to be like, wow, good for her. Because he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go home. Stephanie's working. I'm going to make dinner and do this. I'm like, wow.
He actually called me, and I called when we recorded the last episode. He called me. Somebody else called me. I called all those people back. Did not call my husband back. I'm sorry. And that's his biggest pet peeve, that I forget. Like, I'm like, work is this is his 100% the biggest problem. Work, kids, Niall. I'm not saying from like I love my husband.
No, I know. It's just an organic pyramid that just is
That is an
created.
organic pyramid. I mean, I shouldn't say that kids are below work because they're not.
No.
Like
I know
my
what you
kid,
mean.
like in a love aspect, my kids are like literally. Niall and I always joke like our kids are like when you have a child, there's nothing you could love more.
Except for when you have a meeting and your kid has camp, you're going to choose the meeting.
But that's my point. In my
I'm just kidding. I'm not a mom. That was
in my brain organization pyramid.
Yeah.
It is like there is something about the pressure of clients and work that it's like if any of my clients doubt how much of a priority they are in my head, you're literally always floating around in my head.
I just said to one of my clients the other day, they're like, I mean, if I have an active listing on the market, just know I'm anxious. Like, I have constant anxiety until we're under contract. Like, I think if that's not an agent that cares, then I don't know what is, because that is truly my mindset. If I have an active listing, I think my girlfriends even know that.
I know. Compartmentalizing is super hard.
Yeah. Speaking of active listings,
What?
what's our topic today?
Oh my goodness.
This might be because I don't really know your thoughts on it, and vice versa. We're going to talk about open houses and if they're necessary. Is that what it'll do to sell your house? Why do you have open houses versus
What
just
the heck is an open house? I don't even know. Just kidding.
So an open house is when you have your house is for sale and an agent stands for a period of time. Usually it's 2 to 3 hours, and it says open house 10 to 1, and that just means an agent will be there and you can walk through without scheduling a formal showing. And it started as the idea of it, more exposure and easy accessibility for buyers to come in and on their just during that time block and just run through the house. But I'm not a fan. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not too because
Okay.
I never want to.
Kelly never wants to.
I've never gotten success out of them, and there's two ways for an open house that we could talk about. There's open house that's for the listing. Obviously, that's the number one priority. But I personally think open houses more benefit the agent. If I'm being honest.
The tradition of the open house began over a century ago. In the early 1900s, anyone could declare themselves to be a realtor or broker. What? There was truly a free for all in real estate during this time, as anyone could advertise a home without a proper licensing.
What the heck is that from? Fakenews.com?
No, I don't know. It looks kind of real. A brief history of open houses born. This is probably more legitimate. A brief history of opening our homes. A total
A
string.
Wild West era for real estate. Maybe it was legit.
That's wild. We're really pulling a Joe Rogan here, as Kelly would love. A Wild West. It turns out the open house is a tradition that started over a century. There were no license laws anywhere in the country, so basically anyone could declare himself a real estate broker. That meant when a home was for sale, anybody could pop a sign on a property to advertise the home. Potential buyers and their pick of whom to contact about the house. People who were really trying to make an honest living on the real estate. Okay. Wow.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, obviously we don't need the modern open day house or modern day
Oh my
open
God,
house.
here's like an old open house
An
sign.
old flyer.
Wow, a record of sale.
Price $4,275. What year was that from? 1917.
Wow. Real estate professionals, of course. Whoa. Real estate.
You got to turn that off.
I don't know how to turn it off. Real estate professionals, of course, were encouraged by their local associations to ask permission to place it for sale. Okay.
Well, no
Anyway,
kidding.
we could keep this would go on, and then 1950s terminology changed from open to inspection to open house, and Sunday became the standard open house day. Oh, Sunday?
I believe that.
I wonder why, because I always feel like I don't know. Sometimes I'm like conflict with like family day, church, relaxation, whatever.
See, I think an open house is a good pop by. Hey, after church, pop by. Like they're already out.
Okay. It's difficult to pinpoint why, but how things are. Okay. Blue laws. Okay, I guess I could keep reading forever. Nobody wants to hear me read in my own head. Anyway, I think I used to find no value in open houses. No agent's going to agree with us here. They're going to think we're crazy lunatics. I used to find no value in open houses for myself prior to COVID because, so my point is I'm going to go on the opposite side of Kelly and I'm going to say I like open houses, okay, for my sellers to sell homes.
I don't think they do harm. I guess I should really quick disclaimer. I don't think they're by any. I think the most they can do is obviously something good. So like the worst thing is a waste of time. I personally just don't think it's the make it or break it factor.
Of course not. Yeah, it's not a make it or break it. But what I will say is like pre-COVID, I kind of hated them because I was like literally pointless. I am not a good oh, you wrote your name down on this sheet of paper and then I'm going to stalk you for the next 3 months and hope they buy a house from me. That's like not my cup of tea. If I vibe with somebody and they want to like reach out to me great. Like I am more of an attract business, not attack business.
What Stephanie's referring to. So I feel like the clients out there are probably thinking, like, what do you mean open house for you? Hosting an open house as an agent, like a lot of times I'll have an open house on my listing, but I have a team member that hosts for me because essentially there are going to be buyers walking through that property that are looking to buy, obviously. So it's a really good way and strategy. Honestly, it never worked out for me in my early days, but it's known to be a very good strategy for agents to pick up buyers because these buyers come into the walk-in house. 9 times out of 10, they're working with an agent, but a lot of times, oh, no, I'm not. And then you switch information there. But Stephanie and I both are in both the same in the sense of we are not good with randoms. Like, we're not good with that.
I really need to pick up my stranger business.
I'm sphere or die.
If you live in Frankfurt and you don't know me, can you just call me and say, hey, I want to buy a house from you. I don't know you, but I saw your podcast or I saw you on Instagram or something, just like boost my confidence because I truly I'm not good with, I don't know, like if I know you, I know you, but
think about how many new people you've met since you didn't grow up in Frankfurt, and I feel like you're the flipping mayor. One of my girlfriends, it was either Kim or Amanda the other day, they were talking about Frankfurt and it was a random thing. She's like, I don't know, that's Stephanie. I feel like she would know. Like, you're already like known for that locally.
Thank you. Somebody that just doesn't know me, contact me though and say, you know what? You are doing it.
Yeah, she knows every single aspect, corner of what's going on in new development or, oh, Frankfurt this. She'll know even like the tea. She'll know, like, I feel like
All
that you just
gossip.
know like every aspect in Frankfurt. You're always going to a different event.
Kelly's here to boost my confidence.
I don't do, we know I don't do the events. One night Stephanie called me.
Kelly did grow up here though, so she's sure in.
Just some of the things you go to, I'm like...
I know. I am literally, and this is what it makes my husband mad because I'm like, I spread myself so thin and I'm always like doing networking stuff and this.
And I should be. Like, I feel like I probably could use more of that in my life. But when I'm like...
we're sphere girls. We're sphere girls.
We're sphere girls. I said it actually the other day. I was like, lately I'm in a mindset of like, I need to know like, okay, from whether it's a friend of a friend or a friend, because I've encountered a quite handful of some crazies lately that I had zero relation to, that I'm like, gosh, I just feel so much better when it's someone from my sphere or if it's a referral from a friend. Obviously, I'm open to all and any clients.
Even if you're crazy, we'll still take you.
Oh, yeah. It's actually my specialty, dealing with the crazies.
Crazy is our specialty.
I know. It's becoming quite normal.
No.
But yeah, so we're just sphere people. So anyways, back to what I was saying. It's a good way for agents to get new business with buyers and everything like that.
That's the thing is, so like if a realtor is talking to you about an open houses and they're hardcore pushing them, they're pushing them because they want to get new business. This is what a realistic realtor is going to tell you. It's like, I genuinely think since COVID, they have brought more value to sellers than they typically would. And that's because I found that in the suburbs, like the city is a totally different ballgame, but in the suburbs, I think that they have had a lot more value since COVID because realtors are so spread so thin on showings. Like we are constantly drop of a hat running to see the house that just came on the market because...
That's such a good point.
So a lot of realtors are sending their very qualified, ready to buy buyers to open houses because... They don't have time.
One of my buyers, actually, we were under contract. She went to an open house without me over the weekend, and we were under contract. So it did work out for that.
Okay, see?
My bad. It did work out for that. And so, yes, I think there's value in it. I think when it comes to, I guess if I'm putting myself in a seller's mindset of like, okay, you having an open house, is that going to, I personally don't feel like it's a make it or break it for the sale. However,
no, because if they want to see it, they're going to schedule a showing.
Yes, but in the same breath, what if it happened to be like the neighbors' in-laws that were in town that weekend? Like you can always get those one lucky things or like something that's like they happened to be there during that open house and then they ended up buying it. Like I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But I guess in the overall grand scheme of things, I don't think it's a make it or break it. Are they necessary? No, but they'll never do any harm. And I think that it's good to, get as much foot traffic in there as possible. You're going to have looky-loos. You're going to have your nosy neighbors.
Totally looky-loos. I mean...
Maybe they know a friend. God. That's the only thing. When my clients get so annoyed about that, like, oh, the neighbor, I'm like, maybe they have a friend that they want to live next to them. You never know. It doesn't hurt to get eyes on the property, even if they're not going to buy it.
It doesn't. I mean, but I have a this high-end home in the city that I have for sale, and like I've had like designers come through and introduce themselves to me, and it's just like the amount of people that have come into that house that have zero intention of buying it. I'm like, oh, I could have been like with my family.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying in the sense of that's why I don't like them. There was, and I think it's the little bit of the PTSD in me from your Hinsdale listing Childs.
Oh my God.
I held.
Oh my God, those people, and that was one of the first ones that you like. This is why people have no idea the amount of wasted time on buyers, and that's why buyer agreements super exciting.
But again, going back to like again, it's just such a risk working with people you have zero connection to, like zero, like they don't owe anything to you. And again, I'm not a stalking, pushy, annoying agent. I'm just not. You know how much low hanging fruit me and Stefanie have probably missed out on because we aren't that agent, wouldn't you say?
I know.
Because I don't have it in me because that is the biggest turnoff to me when like super salesy, like I'm in sales, so obviously I can appreciate it, but there's a certain way to go about it. There's like just a certain little touch.
Honestly, I had somebody call me. I did ask them to follow up with me recently. It was like a salesperson selling me something, and I pushed it off on Niall. Niall pushed it back to me, and I told him, it was like, I don't have time right now to deal with this. But he literally was calling me like every day at the same time, and then he would text me, and then eventually I had to tell him, like, listen, stop calling me. I will get back to you when I'm ready to deal with this.
Right.
Like, I don't have time. This is like maybe in fall when work is less busy. But it's so crazy. Like, I want to know, obviously that tactic has to work on some people because obviously they wouldn't do it in this annoying way.
I 100% agree. It does have to work for certain people, and I think because it doesn't feel organic to me to like pick up the phone and do like, just, people make their calls every morning. Like I could use some more structure in my life and my day. I can definitely admit to that.
Imagine if we were that way, how like we could just really be number one here.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm good where we're at. I'm not looking to be always number one, I said that the other day. I was like, wow, number one. Oh, I don't know how great that sounds. When you're so busy in one person, if I had a flipping 40 million of me.
At the end of the day, what is most important in life, like when we're on our deathbed?
Yeah, it's like
relationships.
Yeah,
so it really should be like, I need to restructure my pyramid.
Yes, exactly. And like restructure. Yeah, but it does have to
I like
how
open houses really just went off on another topic.
I know, always. But yeah, I guess that's really how I feel about it. I don't like them for me because I've never found success from clients. But I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt your listing and you might get lucky. That person might just happen to stumble in on your open house and they might buy it. So there's nothing bad about them, but I don't think that.
What about if somebody is nervous about safety in an open house?
I feel like that should be said for even showings. I mean, there's certain practices I always do if I don't know anyone. Like, I won't go downstairs. I'll make sure that there's a door.
No, I mean the seller being concerned about things coming in, like people coming into their house.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always tell them to remove anything that's anything that's
valuable.
That's
just kind of a nice tidbit for a seller. If you are doing an open house, you should be conscious of anything that's like jewelry, things that would be easily stolen.
And don't leave anything out. Like just put everything away, and anything that means a lot to you, either remove it from the property or lock it in
If
a safe.
If it's a very large property, I think it's a good thing to have your agent have 2 people there. Like maybe monitoring.
Yep.
Because there's just no way. If somebody's got us at the front door, we can't be on every floor.
Right.
So.
You want to hear actually a really crazy story that I was told in real estate school by my teacher?
Okay.
There was this drug bust. It was in Palos Park, and this agent had been working with these buyers for quite some time. They were entertaining this property. So the agent would take the buyers to the property. It was a husband and a wife. Whatever, show them around. Then there was, I don't know if there was the inspection. For some reason, they had to go back. Same thing. So then, like crazy, like there was literally like, it was a drug bust. And what they were doing is the buyers were bringing drugs into a vacant house, getting a realtor to show it to them. And the wife would keep the realtor busy in the kitchen, showing her whatever. They put the drugs in the wall. And
what do you mean in the wall?
They literally in the closet, something that, like, you know how there's a trapdoor, crawl space, anywhere. They hid it because it was a vacant house. And then they would go back, and so somebody must have either gotten in the house or something and took it and left the money, whatever it was. And then the realtor took their clients back, and that was when they got busted, and there was drugs and money in the house, and that was how they were picking up and dropping the drugs off, was having a realtor show them the house, leaving it in the property, and then somebody else coming to see it, keeping the realtor busy, getting it out of the house.
Oh my God. And this is why it's so important to have pre-approvals and all
we
that.
have forewarned now. Like, this was probably
I know,
older
but
story.
it's also, we're looking at forewarned, but there's so many agents out there that are desperate for business
that are just
that are going to take any Tom, Dick, and Harry. I know, she always makes. There's that Tom, Dick, and Harry.
We haven't had any good one-liners from you in a while. But yeah, no, super true with safety. That's 100% something that sellers should always be aware of, whether it's an open house or a showing. I even go over that in my listing meeting with the listing agreement, because it has that, I was like, this basically states that we're not to blame if anything is stolen, this and that. I was like, anything that's valuable.
You go through. I never have gone through that.
I mean, I have like a sum up for every paragraph that takes me like
Oh my
7
God,
minutes.
you cute little girl. Okay. Maybe you'll have to
kind of avoids, honestly, future questions. So.
Okay. I just go, here you go.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, anything else?
No.
You guys, we would really
please,
love some topic ideas.
Please.
Like
fill out
anything.
our survey. It's so short.
It doesn't even have to be real estate related. We actually, as you can tell, really like to go off track. So
Yeah, it could be totally unrelated. If you could talk about
Stephanie's like begging. We want it to be real estate related.
we'll talk about Kelly's diet again.
Honestly, these days I've been pretty easy on myself. I look at ingredients lately over calories.
You're a big ingredient person? Okay.
Lately, yeah. Calories are really
I need to do something, but okay.
Yeah, what's the fad diet this week?
Nothing. I'm not dieting right now.
Good. Well, maybe that, you had a salad, $40. You had your $40 salad for lunch.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
I know, I'm just kidding with you. Sorry,
Okay.
Niall. It's not that expensive.
Niall, we've said Niall, like, we're going to be,
I know.
like Andy going, we've said his name 13 times if you're drinking.
Oh, well, all right, guys.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye.
that was a Stephanie name, or a Stephanie
Yeah.
word.
See you later, Gator. Adios, amigo.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Tune in weekly for new episodes.
Follow the link in the show notes to answer our survey and have your topics talked about on Realtor Talk with Steph and Kel.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.
Bye.
Ciao.